Welcome, Collective, to Timeless Energy. I am Barbara. This is a general timeless reading. This is entertainment purpose only. If it does not resonate, please do not make it fit. Watch out for scammers in the comment section. I am not reaching out to anyone. This is my disclaimer. It is not me. I thank you for liking, subscribing, and for your donations and your comments. You'll find the link. Okay, we're going to start by pulling one of the runes oracles. Bear with me. Spirit guide me. Spirit guide me. Spirit guide me. The runes oracle for the timeless energy today, and there she is. Okay, Algus, a monumental protection, symbol of dangers of the outside world for the spiritual life and research, often engraved on weapons as a token of protection and victory. There we go. Okay, my cards. Here we go. I pulled 3 cards. Bear with me. I'm going to lay all 3 cards on the table, and then we'll go into our explanation. Spirit guide me for the timeless energy today. 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 Oh. I have the moon. And we'll lay that right there. We need 2 more cards. Thank you for your patience. Spirit guide me for the timeless energy today. Spirit guide me for the timeless energy today. Spirit guide me for the timeless energy today. Okay, I have 5 of Wands, and it's in the reverse. I apologize on the visual. These are shiny. Bear with me. There's 3 cards more for the time. 1 more card for the timeless energy message today. Spirit guide me. 1 more card for the timeless energy today. Spirit guide me. 1 more card for the timeless energy today. Spirit guide me. Okay, and we have the Death card. And we'll lay that right there. Good enough. Oops. There we go. Doesn't want to stay. This is actually the 3rd time that I've had to do this read today. Oh my goodness. So let's look at what we're doing here. This is the 3rd time in a row, and we're starting off with the moon energy. Now, the definitions that I'm getting on the moon: dreams or illusions. It does say deception. This is a 3rd eye chakra, which is intuitive ability. The moon card is strong with Pisces, which is fantasy. It's very sensitive. It's also strong with the Neptune, which is also very sensitive. Now the thing is, with the moon card, in general, you might be feeling a little bit disoriented, having a difficulty in seeing the difference between what's real, what's not real. it might be really easy to be inclined to be unsure of the facts. This is the energy of the moon. Traditionally, it is confusion. The moonlight can be highly seductive, and it is, like I said, very sensitive, with Pisces and Neptune, extremely double sensitive. Fantasy world. But the moon has Neptune energy. And to be honest with you, Neptune energy is a long-term, generational energy. So you might be feeling that you're unsure of things. There might be a possibility the energy is bringing, like, living in a fantasy world. Unsure of the facts, maybe a little doubt of this sensitive, insecure. This energy is temporary. When we do a read would only apply to maybe a week, maybe 10 days at the most. But this energy of fantasy world isn't necessarily the one I like leaning on. It can be imagination. It can definitely be imagination. But the thing about it is, in general, not being able to tell the difference between what's real and what's not real does not mean that you're crazy. You're uncertain of how things are going to turn out. That would be a more grounded kind of perception of this energy. You're uncertain. You'll believe it when you'll see it. This is kind of like the energy. You can maybe focus on an alternative perspective. Maybe something has occurred to make you look at something in a different way. But you're not sure of the facts. So that gives you kind of the feeling of being a little disorientated or maybe a little insecure. And that's where the sensitivity of the Pisces and Neptune combine. A double sensitivity energy, because you're unsure. This is what this energy is. You're unsure. Was being able to see things from your perspective might be great. You have good intuitive ability. Maybe you think you know what's going on, but you might be deceiving yourself. Your insecurity could be on a subconscious level with the moon energy, which is fine. We all go through those periods of life. If you're deceiving yourself or somebody else is deceiving you, this card recommends caution. There's a very sensitive energy that's going on. And caution, danger, disillusionment, okay, deceit. Whatever energy you have, and it is all personal, depending on who I'm talking about, but I would not use your imagination to go south with that. It is basically relying on the facts, and your insecurity and your sensitivity maybe has to do with you're not sure of the facts. You're not sure of what's going to occur. This is a very normal feeling. Usually around the time the rent is due. Oh, my bad. No, actually, using your intuition, this is very strong. You're very sensitive. You have the Neptune. Your intuition is very strong. You trust your intuition. This is the third eye chakra. You have intuitive ability. You absolutely trust your gut instinct. I would follow with that. You might have fears, you might be very sensitive, you might not have all the facts, and you might maybe be dealing with all kinds of other things. But this is very strong intuitively because you're sensitive, you have the Neptune, intuitive ability is there, you trust your intuition above and beyond all other things. And you reinforce that with the facts that you do have. And you move on. Just like we're going to move on. Because we're going to move on to the Nine of Wands. Oh, the Five of Wands. I'm sorry. This is the third time I have done this, actually, today. Tried this. The third time in a row that I have had to start over. Okay, the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is a fire energy of Leo. And it's the Saturn energy. And we have the throat chakra. Now, I suppose if this energy includes being a little disoriented or confused, you would definitely have the chakra of the throat. You know who you are. You're not afraid to express that. You can express yourself in many other ways. Expressing your feelings. Throat chakra. The Saturn, and this is in reverse, mind you. We're looking at compromise. We're looking at reaching agreement. It doesn't surprise me not one little bit that the chakra on this energy is the throat chakra. We're looking at making finding some kind of agreement. We're looking at major communication. It is in reverse. So, this is a fate energy. Fate. You might have limitations. And with the Leo energy, you might be dealing with an arrogant energy. Or maybe someone who has very high standards. You are persevering. You are trying to be self-reliant. But we are shouting communication here. Communication in reverse. The Saturn energy of limitations and fate. We might be dealing with a fated event. I don't know what you're dealing with or why we pulled this card. If this resonates with you, we might be dealing with something that's fated. In your case, let me explain. If you're dealing with something that's fated, it is not something that you can avoid. In some cases, this can be trickery. So you need to be very cautious. And I think I've already mentioned caution already in the moon energy, showing caution. Because of the intuitive strength of the moon, where you might be dealing with your own fears, which are subconscious, but you might be dealing with deception. There is a call to use your own discernment and to show some caution with this. And that would be strictly because you have a gut instinct about something. Now, if you're prone to fall, and it's something that happens often, maybe you have, like someone that I love very much, a weak ankle. I would not suggest that that person go climbing up the side of a cliff. God knows what could happen. Show caution. Know what your limitations are. Use a little bit of discernment in your decision making. There will be some kind of compromises. There will be some kind of agreements being reached. Even with the Saturn energy and the fire of the Leo energy. Maybe passionate things that touch you. We are talking about the throat chakra here, not the heart chakra. We are talking about things that you communicate with passionately about. Okay? Practical, dependable, in reverse. Means maybe not being so practical, or maybe you're dealing with somebody who's not completely dependable, but use your discernment. You have your intuition right here. You need to show caution. You might be deceiving or trickery energy here. Use your intuition. Be cautious. Use your discernment. This here is communication. And you know what? Communication's been coming up a lot. And it takes 3 cards to make a story fit. So this is the Death card. That is next. Now the Death card is upright. And you know what? The Death card used to scare me too. Because you know what? It doesn't necessarily mean ending of life. I did just go through that. But the meaning for this, it's a transformation of sorts. I know many people use that. It can be loss, it can be failure, but it's mostly transportation. Transformation. Oh my goodness, did I say transportation? Maybe transportation fits in here somewhere. I do not know. That was totally an accident. And you know what? It's going to be part of the read now. Transformation. You have the Scorpio energy, which is a fire sign. You have the Pluto, transformation again, the Pluto. And the Pluto energy is another long-term generational. Choices that are made, or whatever's going on, or whatever is fated in this read, these changes are long-term generational. They're not only going to affect you, perhaps maybe in the next year, but they're going to affect your children, your children's children. If you have other branches of your family, it might expand to transforming situations with even other branches of your family, or in some cases your friends. Some people have no family, some people have their friends. Their friends are their family. Now, with the relationships, as far as the Death energy, I did say transformation is not necessarily predicting the death. And I will never specifically use this. I have had it, I have seen it done. Because nobody wants to do that. But everything has a shelf life. Okay, our relationships, going through our childhood, going through our young adult life, going through our senior years, going through this job or that job, the natural cycle of your life, everything has a transformation or a shelf life where something will come to an end and something new will begin. Not to sugarcoat anything. The Death card has predicted the death or loss of life. It is a loss card. But there are so many other things that it can mean. It is the symbol of endings, but it doesn't have to be the ending of life. It can be a divorce. The death of your single life when you get married. It is simply transformation, changes. Okay? And I just said accidentally transportation. So the changes that we're dealing with in your life, if you are resonating, might specifically have to do with traveling in some kind of transportation. That would be logical, because see, I don't make those mistakes very often, but I have seen that once it's mentioned in a reading, it's part of the read. This can be overcoming obstacles, and this is also discussing obstacles, where you have to use your own discernment, use some caution. We are not dealing, hopefully, with somebody who's living in a fantasy world here. We are also overcoming obstacles here. And this is a faded energy. So whatever it is that you're going through appears to be something that you can't avoid. You're trying to be practical, but you have limitations. Those limitations might be connected to your health. Those limitations might be connected to your finances. These losses might be connected to death, family members, friends. These losses might be connected to needing to move away and losing contact with friends or family. In some cases, the choice is the other person's, friends or family. You've lost contact in one way or another for a different reason. But I said transportation, so I think moving, transformation has to do with traveling or moving. This is what I think, and that's because I made that mistake. This is a faded energy, something that you cannot avoid. Something that will have long-term generational impact. And you don't understand that, that's just not loss or gain or, making changes. Generational impact is. You branch off from your mother and your father and you start a family of your own. You've got 5 siblings. You communicate with 2 of your siblings. The other 3 you never hear from. Who are you developing a bond? Who are you communicating with? I did say this throat chakra is a communication energy. Changes or decisions and all of that impacting your life. Where I say transportation, moving, or traveling. Faded energy. Use discernment, caution. We are not living in a fantasy world. This is upright, and it does say fantasy world. Actually, to tell you the truth, it says very, very sensitive, very, very intuitive. We're trying not to live in a fantasy world. Before something happens when you're making changes, you might be inclined to live in a fantasy world because you have a picture in your head about how everything is going to work out. And sometimes it doesn't work out the way you think it will. You have limitations. You're talking about faded energy and you're talking about travel. I don't think there's any way I can elaborate on that anymore at this point without confusing anybody. I wouldn't want to. It says here protection. Monumentum protection. Wherever you're getting, when you have the signals of dangers from the outside world, and you're using your intuition, aren't you? What is it that's dangerous to you? Have you ever thought of that? Because the symbols or signals or symbols, whatever, that you recognize as danger signals. Actually, you might recognize that, but somebody else might not know anything about that. You might be the only one that's picking up on it. And they might be picking up on other symbols or signals of danger or things that don't make them feel comfortable that you have no knowledge of. We are all different. We are all individual. The energy of the moon in some cases can be working together to reach a common goal. That does not mean we all see eye to eye. That does not mean we think all the same way. We still need to use caution, and we're looking at maybe traveling. Definitely transportation, there you are. Transformation, and I said it again. The strong energy of this read that's coming out is that somebody's going to be traveling. Now, if you resonate with this and it happens, you know, the energy of this read, I would say between 7 out of 10 days, we're talking protection. Whatever is going on, if it helps the fears that you're dealing with, I see a monumental amount of protection in whatever your endeavors are. Now, whether the results are exactly what you picture in your head, I cannot make any promises, and I won't. But that looks like what I have for you today. I do appreciate you visiting Timeless Energy. I am so sorry I'm not as flamboyant or gifted as some of the more popular readers. But any subscriptions, any comments, any donations, and any likes, anything that might help me grow my channel, always welcome. And you are welcome to look at any of the older videos that I've made. You are welcome to come back and check out anything new that I make in the future. And I do appreciate your time today. Thank you very much, and goodbye.